Welcome to another video. Today we are visiting a church. We're going to do a little bit of video around this wonderful old church. So this is St Andrew's Church at Leysters, Leysters. So let's have a look. I happen to know that the church is open today. As we can see from the sign, there is a Commonwealth war grave here, and after a bit of research I find that it's leading aircraftman Harold James Giles, and it gives his service number, his regiment, the Royal Air Force Volunteer Reserve, date of death died 7th of February 1944, age 33, and he's buried and commemorated in this church here at Leysters. Country of service, United Kingdom, son of Joseph, Edwin and Elizabeth Giles of Leysters. So the church dates from the 12th century, with additions being built later. There are two blocked windows in the north wall, one with a wooden frame dating back to the 17th century, and another from the 12th century. Two exterior windows are hidden by the pipe organ inside the church. There's a doorway from the 12th century in the south wall, which is now blocked up. Four main gates at the perimeter. In olden times, funerals always entered our churchyard by the east gate and paused by a funeral stone. From there the vicar would lead the cortege into the church. Nowadays the main gate from the car park is used. So let's see if we can get inside. I believe we can, because it says that the church is open. Yes, it says the church is open. Okay, we're in. Look at that ceiling. The roof. That is amazing, isn't it? Pews, font, door where we came in. That stained glass window we filmed from the outside. I don't know, can you say filmed these days? Videoed. So that's the altar with that magnificent stained glass window above. If we can get a clearer view. That is it's very nice. Presumably they are the choir seats. Oh, I can see the pipes from the organ. So they must be the choir seats as well. Up there is the pulpit. Steps up to the pulpit there. A lot of military people remembered here, which is why it says it's war graves area, I imagine. Oh, there's another stained glass window there. Have a look at this one. Let's get in front of it. Wow. That's pretty neat, isn't it? The left one says, "To the glory of God, Lieutenant Hubert Lockington Bayfield, killed in action at Neuve Chapelle, erected by his parents." And that's St. Cecilia. And then the right hand one, St. George, "And in loving memory of Leicestershire Regiment." I can't say regiment. "And in loving memory of Leicestershire Regiment, who was 12th March 1915. This window is, I don't know, have we lost a bit somehow? It doesn't seem to make complete sense. It's like a phrase over a sentence. It doesn't quite make sense, does it? "And in loving memory of Leicestershire Regiment, who was 12th March 1915, this window is." So I don't know whether that's older English or whether there's a bit missing. Leicestershire Regiment, that's interesting, because we're in Worcestershire here. What else can we look at? Getting enthusiastic now. Right, let's have a look at this organ. I would dearly love to have a go on that organ. I wonder if there's a phone number, someone I could ring to see if they'd let me have a go. Not that I'm an expert or anything, but I could get a tune out of it. Maybe I should sign the visitor's book. So I'm going to put YouTube at Ron 2256. So it's the 25th of August 23. RON2256. Is that right? Ron 2256, that is correct. Probably not a good idea for me to video the visitor's book. It's private, you know, I don't really want to put that out on YouTube. But yeah, if you get a chance to come and look at this church, it's a lovely little church. What hymns did we sing last time? 467, 439, 146, 201. I wonder if there's a book, just say which hymns they were. So why do they say Amen and not our women in church? Because they sing hymns, not hers. Right, back to this hymn. So what is hymn 467? I'm not being irreverent here. I'm just liking the church, you know. I'd love to have a go on that organ. Hymn number 467. Now the labourer's task is o'er. Now the battle day is past. Now upon the farther shore lands the voyager at last. So that's hymn number 44. That's hymn number 467. Presumably J. Ellerton wrote this one, unless he wrote the one above. I presume he wrote this one. Okay, so 439. 439. The golden gates are lifted up. Yeah, Mrs. C.F. Alexander. Yeah. The golden gates are lifted up. The doors are opened wide. The King of Glory is gone up unto his Father's side. Okay. So what's number 146? This one's 146, traditional J. Chandler and compilers. Jesu, our hope, our heart's desire, thy work of grace we sing. Redeemer of the world art thou, its maker and its king. Okay, might as well do the last one as well, 201. Traditional E. Caswell. Jesu, thy mercies are untold, through each returning day thy love exceeds 1,000-fold. Whatever we can say. Okay. We'll put that back where we found it. Okay, so I'll put the hymn book back where I found it. So this is the font for christenings, baptisms, information about the interior of the Church of St Andrews, Leysters, Herefordshire. Huh. Shows how much I know. I thought it was in Worcestershire. So the oldest part of our beautiful little church is the nave, dating from the 12th century. The chancel was added in the 13th century, and probably the tower. The porch leading to the main door was presented to the church in the 19th century by Mrs. Charles Andrews of Church House Farm, which is opposite the church. Mrs. Andrews also donated the pulpit, which required the removal of 2 front pews to accommodate it. There were several wall memorials for members of the Andrews family from the 19th century. Substantial changes were made to the church between 1856 and 1886, when Reverend Thomas Swinton Hewitt was the vicar. For example, he arranged for the sides of the pews to be lowered and the pew doors were removed. They are now incorporated into the wall panelling. The ceiling was also removed, revealing the rafters and fine collar beams supported by arched braces in the nave and chancel. These are said to date back to the 14th century. Reverend Hewitt also raised the chancel floor and had it tiled. He had the font moved from the north to the south of the nave. The font is thought to date back to the 12th century and was brought from the private church at Weil Farm, Puddleston, by horse and cart at a cost of £1. You can see chisel marks in the stone made by the man who shaped it. On the floor of the nave, old gravestones have been used, some still legible. We have 2 church wardens' staffs which were donated in the 1970s in memory of Edward and Florence Bourgoin. Traditionally, these staffs, also called staves or wands, were used by the church wardens to keep peace and maintain good behaviour in the church. Well, yeah. One represented the Queen and her subjects, and the other was for the church and rector. These days they are used ceremonially in processions. There are 3 beautiful stained glass windows, one in memory of Mrs. Andrews, one in remembrance of Reverend Hewitt, and the third from 1915, erected in the memory of Lieutenant Hubert Lockington Bayford. The latter window is believed to be a design of Sir Edward Burne-Jones and made at the factory of Morris & Co. There were several memorial plaques on the interior walls, including one in memory of Captain Greener, dated 1917, and for the men of the parish who died in world wars. We have 3 bells in the tower. 2 of them are 500 years old, cast in Worcester. The second bell was replaced in 1804 at a cost of £39, 9 shillings and 9 pence, with the clapper and fittings costing extra. In the 1800s, music was provided by a harmonium. It was replaced by the present organ in 1890. Please enjoy the peace and fascinating history of our beautiful church. And we have a big spider down there enjoying himself. We'll leave him alone. I just read that there were 3 stained glass windows. I only found 2 of them. This is the 3rd. So we have this plaque here. And then we have this stained glass window here. Which says, Andrew saith unto him, there is a lad here which 5 barley loaves hath. To the glory of God and in the memory of Thomas Swinton Hewitt, the vicar of this parish from April 1858 to May 1886. And then we have a lectern here. I'm deliberately not touching anything. Take only photos, leave only footprints. There's a phone number. If anyone wants to try out the organ, I wonder if I should give them a ring. Right, I made a phone call. Spoke to a very nice lady who told me how to switch the organ on. Now let's have a go. Can I just do a pop one, do you think? Harmonic flute, 4 foot, stop treble. What's that one? Can't read it. What does that do? something with this. So this organ says John Nicholson organ, John Nicholson organ builder. I don't know, is that Worcester? Can't read it. So this is a foot pedal. Perhaps I ought to take my shoe off. Perhaps taking my shoe off might make me able to. God, it's not comfortable. Take my shoe off. Right. Why am I so hopeless? I think that might be as good as it gets. Right. Let's shut this wonderful machine down. Well, just goes to prove I can't play as well as I think I can, doesn't it? But never mind, we've had a go. I've got to go and turn the electrics back off. Right, the reason it took me so long to switch the organ on is I couldn't find the main switch. But it turns out that these doors do open into the ringing chamber and the main switch is in here. So we'll go and switch that off. We'll just have a quick look in the ringing chamber. They've only got 3 bells. So we have 3 bell ropes with sallies. So that's a bell rope. This bit here is a sally. There's a ladder up into. And this is an array of switches which I had to figure out to get the organ to play. This looks good. And a walk down the road from the church brings us to the Poet's Stone. The poet William Wordsworth and his wife Mary sat on this block of stone during a visit to Leysters in 1845. The vicar, the Reverend Joseph Kirkman Miller, had the initials WW and MW carved on it. So there are the initials, William Wordsworth and Mary Wordsworth. If I've got any of my facts wrong, please let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.